Well, hi there, everybody. As you know, every day I do a journal or a letter to my sweet bride, Pam, who's off in heaven now. Those of you who knew her, you know what a terrific gal she was. She was the love of my life since high school. And today, instead of writing her a letter, she already knows what I'm about to share with you guys. So I'm doing it in the form of this video message. Now, first of all, I know that most of you have the attention span of a squirrel, so you may have to devote 5, 6, 7 minutes here, depending on how long I go. First of all, it's a cold, cloudy, damp day here in the Pacific Northwest. It's getting to be that time of year when that's the type of weather we experience up here for 4 or 5 months. I've been up here now for a little over 2 years. Now, that doesn't include the time we lived over in Bend, Oregon for about 3 years as well. But I've been in Medford for 2 years. Pam and I came here 2 years ago. Came here with high hopes. I ended up getting a terrific job. It really was. They pay me extremely well, especially for this size of television market. The benefits are good. The people are nice. Pam and I felt this was a place we could come, and I know you're going to laugh when I say this, but we were going to settle down for the long haul for a change. We kind of reached that point in life, believe it or not. We actually came here looking at houses that we might purchase and thinking that I would continue to just work here until I was ready to step away and maybe take a new adventure, whatever that may be. Well, within 6 weeks after we got here, Pam ended up getting diagnosed with cancer that had gone into her bones. And it ended up taking her down pretty fast. So my first year here in Medford, Oregon, was basically as a caregiver to my sweet wife. It was multiple visits to the hospital, visits to the emergency room. We went through her breaking both her femurs. Then we went through the collapse of her spine. It was a long year. But of course, she's the one that really paid the ultimate price. She had terrible pain. And in the end, when it was so terribly hard to tell her goodbye, right there in our bedroom and in the bed that we shared, we knew it was time. The kids were there with me as well. And we all agreed. She was no longer in pain. She was in heaven. And those of you who knew Pam, her faith was deeper than any that you've ever come across, I bet. And she, I know, is so much happier, healthier, all the things we've been told heaven is like. I pray that is all true and she's enjoying that. So again, that's my first year here in Medford, Oregon. I may go back just a bit. We'd been looking, like I said, at buying a house, and we actually were leasing a beautiful 2-story condominium that was brand new that we had thought about maybe we would purchase it. But then when she started losing the ability to walk, I then leased this little flat, as I call it, just a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath place here in Jacksonville, Oregon. I rented it for her so that she could get around on just the one floor. And, you know, and she kept working from home. We set up a home office. She worked up until a couple of weeks before she passed. I'd help get her set up in that office area. And that office area is where I still do a lot of my things today. I'm still in that little house. So, first year, she dies and goes to heaven. My second year here, then the pandemic arrives. Then we have wildfires that devastate the area. And this is on top of, you know, grief of losing my best friend and wife and our kid's mom and your friend. And again, I'm not going to whine and complain because I know that some of you probably watching, hey, a lot of people have had it a lot worse. Okay, they have. I'll give you that. So I'm not going to be a whiner. And I've tried not to be a whiner. But anyway, the second year, the one thing that kept kind of sticking with me was the memories here. They just aren't good. I mean, the 2 years that I've spent here, there are no good memories. I'm sorry to say, none. I just can't come up with them. Other than, yes, I still have a job. The viewers, go figure, they seem to really like me, and I hear from them all the time. They're always encouraging me. They're telling me how, you know, they hope I never leave and all this. And that's all good. But you know, That's not my close friends. That's not my family. We really didn't have a chance to make any close friends here because Pam got ill. And like I said, our life revolved around medical centers. And then I become this fairly young widower who's still working for a living. And there aren't a ton of us out there. So I'm kind of, lost. Don't have a lot of connections. So my weekends, while they may look fun and great, you see me out hiking and doing all these wonderful things, and I do. That's the only thing that's kept me sane. I kept on doing the things Pam and I did, but 99% of the time I was pretty much alone. And, people said there are groups and things, and I reached out to a couple of them, and they were okay, but there was still something missing. I was missing those deep-rooted friendships. I was missing our kids. I was missing family members that are spread across the country. And I just didn't have that here. So it became very clear to me that rather than just continuing on like this, it was time to make a change. So here you come. You knew this was coming. I buried the lead. I have decided I'm going to leave Medford, Oregon. I've talked with my television station ownership here, and they fully understand, and they fully support me on this. My last day is going to be Friday, December 11th here. I've already sold the majority of our furniture in our house because there was no sentimental value with the furniture. But at the same time, there wasn't exactly good memories with that furniture. I mean, I've gotten rid of the bedroom set. I got rid of the living room furniture. Basically, I'm sleeping on a mattress on the floor. Still got my big screen television. Still have a desk and computer. That's about it. And that's all I need right now. So now the question is, where am I going to go and what am I going to do? And I will tell you, it's a little scary to do something like this in the middle of a pandemic. And I thought about putting it off. And then I thought, you know what? One thing I've learned in these last 2 years is we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. So I thought, I'm not putting this off anymore. I'm not a rich man, unfortunately, through Pam's illness. And before that, when we tried doing our real estate adventure, finances were pretty wiped out. The good news is, I'll just share with you, maybe I'm sharing too much. I'm totally debt-free. I have a teeny tiny amount of money in the bank that'll keep me going for a year or so if nothing comes up. But I think something's going to come up. So I'm going to Nashville. Actually, I'm going to live in the suburb of Franklin, Tennessee. I've already leased a place there. It's one of those trendy apartment places that's got all the amenities. It's new. It's kind of hip, so to speak. I've already picked out some new hip furniture that's got a lot of color with it that's going to be delivered. And I'm going to be close to Eric and Allison, who live just outside Nashville. And of course, Hannah is just 3 or 4 hours away over in Asheville. I have lots of terrific, close friends who we've been close with for years and years. And I'm not even getting to mentioning all the names because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but you all know who you are. And then I have friends from high school and friends who I came to know in college that are in that area as well. It's going to be a big change, though. I love the West Coast. Pam and I love the West Coast. But I think it's time to go and be around family and friends. I think I need that. I had a grief counselor who told me that multiple times after Pam passed. They just flat out told me, they said, we don't know how you're doing this without anybody here. And I said, oh, I've got God. In a sense, Pam is still here. And I knew when it would be right. I wanted to wait a year before I made a major decision, which I did. I waited that year. My feelings had not changed in that year. I talked to my parents in New Mexico about it, and I kind of thought they'd probably say, oh no, you need to stay there, you need to stay on the job. But you know what? My mom and dad, they said the same thing. They said, son, you're making the right decision. They said, you need to do this. And so everybody's been very supportive. And that's where, too, you can help. Part of my grand plan in going to the Nashville area is, I started a podcast. It's called The Jack Church Show. A lot of you have probably never listened to it, but you can hear it on Spotify, Google, and Apple. I'd appreciate it if you would spread the word about the podcast. I've got a teeny tiny sponsor now that pays me a teeny tiny amount of money. But I think when I can devote more of my time and energy to it, I can grow it. I've had a couple of people who are pretty big in the podcast world who say, I might be onto something with this. Because in the show, I talk a lot about my grief journey from a guy's perspective and how to keep moving forward. And I just kind of share my daily experiences. And then I put in some goofy stuff as well, you know me. And then I've got the YouTube channel, Traveling with Jack and Pam. Still not where we need to be. We need 1,000 subscribers. We're approaching 500. Once we get to 1,000 on that, then I'm eligible for sponsors with it as well. So again, help me out. Spread the word on that as well. So that's it. I'm leaving here Friday. December 11th will be the last day. That's Saturday. I'll hook up a little U-Haul trailer, take just the bare essentials, make a cross-country trip. My goal, of course, is to be in the greater Nashville area before Christmas so I can be around family and friends. I'll go through Thanksgiving alone, but a lot of people will because of COVID. And I'm going to pray that this next year is going to be a great year. I'm going to pray that, as I said, it's Operation Fresh Start for me. And it is. And it certainly doesn't mean I'm leaving Pam behind. Pam will always be part of me. She'll always be... Oh, I'm going to cry. She made me what I am, which is a better person. She really did. I'm sorry. Oh boy. So we're going to be fine. And I have her remains in an urn. And she'll be riding in the front seat with me, okay? So that's it. Launch date, Operation Fresh Start, Friday, December 11th. So I look forward to seeing all you in Music City, Music City, USA. I look forward to seeing you sooner than later. You guys have a great day, and as I always say, let's make it a better tomorrow. Bye now.